The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, is a part of our past, Ray. It reminds us of all that once was good, and it could be again. Oh, people will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
Fans are singing along with Bryson Stott's walk-up music. Out at home plate, what a play by Hoffman!
He got him, and the ball game and the series are over. Home run for Kyle Schwarber. And the Phillies have the National League Championship.
Welcome back to this new episode of Quit Chasing Podcast.
Damn you! Damn you!
I figured you stepped all over my line last week. I'm going to step all over yours.
That was so good. That was so well executed. Damn, that was nice. Nicely done. Alrighty, chasers. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Quit Chasing Podcast. You may have noticed we're a little cheeky, we're a little irreverent, but we're always unqualified. We're here to talk Phillies baseball, a little bit of life, pay that bit of tribute to the great James Earl Jones, and whatever the hell comes to us. I'm Alex Kruger, and back from a few time zones away, we welcome back in Danny Gerb. Dano, say hi. Say hi to Chase Nation.
What's up, everyone? How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm doing great. I completely forgot that we were going to do the James Earl Jones intro. So when that started playing, you saw me in the green room, dude. I was beside myself.
Yeah, it's something that we agreed on when we heard the news. Phenomenal actor. Fun fact about the guy. Did 2 baseball movies, was not a baseball fan.
That's amazing that he was not a baseball fan. Quit Chasers, if you can tell us the 2 baseball movies that James Earl Jones was in, I will send you a bit of Quit Chasing merchandise. You can get us at quitchasing@gmail.com or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
And while we're at it, Chase Nation, we are still waiting on the total of Poop Series mentions from the 999.
You know what? That is a great thing to bring back up. What's that called? Recall? Callback?
Yeah,
one of those?
Yeah, it's a callback. Absolutely.
Callback.
Also,
Callback.
it gets the Poop Series in one more episode. It's never going to die.
Were you excited? Were you excited to hear it come back last week? Tell us what you thought listening into the Quit Chasing Junior episode.
Yeah, so I downloaded it for the plane ride back home. And we took a red eye. We left 10 p.m. Pacific time and arrived.
Let's go with the roved. Why isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. I like that.
I love it.
You're roved back.
We arrived back at 6:50 the following morning. So it was one of the things where I'm listening to it. You have the white noise of the plane going on. You do the Poop Series callback, and my eyes just shoot open, and I audibly chuckle on the plane. And then you do the, hey, that was for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just like, I did, man. I'm nodding my head up and down. I looked like the biggest jabroni in 33C back there, but it was fine.
Oh, God, that makes me so happy. Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
I appreciate it. And hey, Gavin Carter, hell of a job, boys. Like, you are the future of Quit Chasing of Phillies podcasting. Like, hey, the little irreverent, a little cheeky, out of your lane, just like we are, and you did it masterfully. Great job, boys. Great job.
They did wonderfully. It started a bit slow. But once we got them into their lanes, man, they hummed. They did very well.
I mean, their takes are absolute BS, and they have not been beaten down by Philly sports yet, and it showed. But I'll tell you what, in contrast to how we do it, it was a very fun listen. very different
for a second, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was, man. The youthful optimism is. I enjoyed it. I did because I'm not the curmudgeon people think I am. I'm really not, man.
When my youngest daughter met you, I believe her exact words were, "Oh, you're the cranky one."
grumpy one.
The grumpy one. I'm so sorry. Oh, you're the grumpy one is what the 6-year-old said to him.
Did we tell that story?
I'm not sure. Guys, if you listen and you've heard that story before, let us know. We'll send you some Quit Chasing merchandise.
So we were at that baseball game against the Giants, the one where Trey gets hurt on the slide in from home.
Love that that's the signifier of that game. Not a successful, Friday Night Thunder Guns jersey. No, it was Trey's injury.
Friday Night Thunder Guns jersey. Love it. Yeah. So we're sitting there. We come up with a show note or whatever, and she looks at me and goes, "You're on the show?" And I said, she said, "You're on Daddy's show?" I was like, "Yeah." And she just eyes get wide and goes, "Oh, you're the grumpy one." Out of mouths of babes, right?
Absolutely. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it.
Put me in my place.
Danny, you added. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about your trip out west.
Sure.
You put a note on the agenda that I need to hear you expound upon because I've never been farther west than Ohio. So,
sorry to hear that.
It is what it is, dude. Middle class. So you said Oracle puts CBP to shame.
Think I am. Yeah, you know what? There's a handful of things that I noticed about the ballpark, and some of those it's interesting. So we talked about it early in the pod.
First off, tell my mom which one is Oracle. Tell my mom which team is Oracle.
San Francisco Giants, Oracle Park in San Francisco, Wells, Virginia, California.
That's San Diego.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, my Spanish isn't that great.
Took Latin, huh, Dr. Rempe?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of things. Like we talked early in the pod's history about the out of town scoreboard, and we had some thoughts, and ultimately we landed on we'll know more when we see it live, and we eventually saw it live, and it's different, but honestly, you don't notice it, right? So the lack of stuff in Oracle Park. So they have their big scoreboard. They have whatever, like the banner, the running digital banner that goes from foul pole to foul pole around the grandstand. And that's it. That is it. That is the electronic. I mean, there's advertisements. They have that giant Coke bottle out in the left field. You know what I mean? So there's advertisements. They're sailing sailboats in the bay that have giant advertisements on them. So there's advertisements. But as far as digital screens moving around, they're not there. And you notice it. So it's one of those things where at CBP, you don't notice it because it's just everywhere. But when you're in a park that doesn't have them, man, you notice it, and it's classic, and it's timeless, and they still have their old out-of-town scoreboards. They're kind of broken up because they have those gates out in the outfield, so they're kind of broken up in between them, but they're still there. It's just a gorgeous park and a gorgeous setting. It's run phenomenally. The food.
How was the food? Because you are very critical of the Aramark branded food all throughout the concession world of central Pennsylvania, or all Pennsylvania, really. So tell me about the food at the Oracle. You posted something on our site. What was that all about?
So that was I posted a picture of the onion crank machine that everybody misses. They still got them. Not only do they still have them, they have a San Francisco dog. They're giant. They're great. I had one of those. I had a crab sandwich, which was Dungeness crab meat on a buttered and grilled sourdough. It was phenomenal. They were doing all the chowders and bisques and bread bowls. Kim got the garlic fries. It was out of this world, an out of this world experience that do yourself a favor if you're on the West Coast and go to a game at Oracle Park.
So I kind of want to challenge one item on that menu.
Sure.
Who's getting a soup in the middle of an August day in San Francisco?
San Franciscoians, San Franciscans.
I love a good chowder. I don't think I've ever been at a ballpark and thought to myself, I could go for a good shrimp and lobster right now. Absolutely not. That is a fascinating feature or a bug.
So it's California, man. It's a huge state. It's not San Diego. San Francisco's cold and windy.
Okay. All right.
So,
you know what? Okay.
yeah.
That is good weather then. Was it cold and windy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. We'll allow it.
San Francisco's my favorite California city. And that's the best I can say about it.
I would love to, of all of the California cities, that is by far the one I would like to go. And not just because I am a huge Full House fan, which I am. I would love to go to San Francisco. It just looks so picturesque, so perfect, so beautiful.
It is. It's a great city. It really is. It's I'm an East Coast guy though. That's all.
That's true. Anything you'd like to say about Oakland's Coliseum?
Yeah, an absolute dump.
You hate to see. So they've just let it completely die.
Yeah, so it looks like it. We walked in through the first gate. I think we were at gate D, maybe. We're in parking lot D. So whatever gate is right to the straight of that to the left of the box office. So whatever gate that is, Oaklandites probably know what I'm talking about. We walk in and it's just automatically just piles of trash. So like this was like
beginning
in the
of the game.
Beginning of the game, it was like at least CBP when you walk in, it takes it a good game for it goes to hell. But no, this was just there. It's dingy, it's dark, it's a bit old and cavernous and cement circle. But let me tell you something, man. There was a vibe. There was definitely a history. They do a really great job of plastering their history all over that park. And
that's what they got.
Yeah. So there was a couple things I found interesting. The crowd was a little bigger than I was anticipating.
I saw some of the pictures and was a little bit shocked at how many seats were filled. Now, who were they playing?
They were playing the Tigers.
Geez, so it's not like that's even a double home or anything. Like, huh?
Right. So, but what I did notice walking around the concourse was there were a ton of people with other baseball teams' jerseys, other people's hats on. When we got back from the game, we are waiting for the elevator, and we see 4 more people come to the elevator with like Ace stuff in their hands, and they're like, "Were you at the game?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What?" They came from Detroit. Like a lot of people were like, we had to see the Coliseum before the A's moved. So I think there were a lot of people paying their respects.
Yeah, you know what? Then I appreciate that. That is one thing about baseball fandom. You can never say we are not historians of the sport, sometimes to an annoying degree. But let's talk a little bit more recent history. Danny, you've been away. I've been trying my best to keep you up to date and up to speed on things. Let's talk about the week that was.
Let's do it. Just for transparency, I was in the middle of Yosemite for a good chunk of life, and I'm out of touch. So I will join back up with you when we get to the Rays.
Love that. Not sure anyone ever thought you were in touch before, but it's good to know you were admitting to being out of touch. All right, if you say so. So the week that was, after last time, we start off with Philadelphia 16, Miami 2. A few weeks back, there was a meme, or MeMay, going around about how the last 20 or something World Series champs had a game in which they scored 15 runs. Phil's hadn't had one yet. And while this statistic is more correlation than causality, it did give me pause and hesitation. Thank God for this game. This game was decently over by the second inning when it was 7-0. And in the end, the Marlins scored an eighth of the runs we did. I'm pretty sure I texted Danny in the third inning to tell him maybe he was just a bad luck charm for the Phils. In the next game, Philadelphia 5, Miami 9. Classic NOLA loss, to be honest. The Marlins scored in the third and fourth. And since Kara and I were at a wedding, congratulations, Calvin and Carrie Zimmerman. You guys threw a great reception. We did not pay attention. But usually at these weddings, I'll keep the game on. Not this time. I was just kind of letting it happen. But no regrets. Major props to Gimme Gimme by ABBA. Phenomenal wedding song. We close out the Miami series with Philadelphia 1, Miami 10. We brought up a kid named Seth Johnson that we received in one of our Baltimore reliever swaps. Some folks wondered what he had. What did he have? Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Wasn't the kid's day. And by the 5th pitch of the 3rd inning, I went back to terraforming my island on Animal Crossing and watching movies with the girls before they went back to their mom's house. There's just something about Miami, especially in Miami, that just doesn't work for the Phils. But that's okay. We came back home, and this time we brought Florida to our house in the first game of the Tampa series. Yeah, you like that. Tampa Bay 2, Philly 1. I really hate it when Spike Eskin is right, especially retroactively. I detest it. But he was onto something when he said Harper needs to run out bags. He has been such a little dork lately with his lack of hustle. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he needs a rest, but he isn't going to take the rest. He said so. Harper does what Harper wants, regardless of how it affects the team, which is bizarre for a guy whose general vibe is a Mona Lisa Saperstein, money please face. That's a Parks and Recreation reference.
I know. I actually just watched one of them the other day where she was doing it. It's best to just give her money. It's the easiest.
Just like Harper.
Yeah. Oh, whoa.
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying what the inevitability is going to be anyways.
Sure.
So, Danny, you caught back up. Here we are. We're in Tampa.
Yes, we are.
You got anything?
Not quite yet. We'll go on. So actually, I do have a question because I'm out of it, and you are now my news source. What was up with the NOLA dust up? What?
You know what? I got nothing. I'm a terrible news source, dude. Like I said, I was at a wedding, so I did not. It's a NOLA night, man. What do you asking? Whoa, it's a NOLA. Like, come on. He was due.
I know, but all right,
it's a NOLA game.
I guess that was what I was kind of asking. So I ran away real quick while you're doing the Miami thing. So I didn't get to play it, but I'm going to do it now anyway.
I know how many MeMays are going to be out there, me with the bald head.
There we go. I had it when you said it, but I had to take care of something.
I also knew that I spelled it phonetically enough that you knew what I was going for.
Because I know how many MeMays are going to be out there, me with the bald head.
I mean, it's so great.
That's our MVP, y'all.
100 years later, it's still great.
That's our God. Oh, man, nothing is going to beat that. No. All right, so then let's see if you've caught up quite yet, because next up we have Tampa Bay 4, Philadelphia 9. Oh, shit, I just realized. For the last game, I said Tampa 2, Philly 1. It was Tampa 1, Philly 2. Philly won that game, guys. Philly won that game. Yeah,
they did. Hey, are we talking? All right, I'm back now. Sorry, I was catching up for Phils and catching up to this show.
When we say we'll do better next week, we really mean it this time.
Oh yeah. We're knocking some rust off. I'm knocking some rust off.
I love it.
Also, I don't know if people know this. This is early for us.
This is. What time is it even? It's 5:40.
Early.
That's insane.
We're like 5 hours. This is 5 hours of prep we didn't do. 5 hours of all sorts of stuff. Are we talking about this stuff now? Do you want to talk about it now? The Harper stuff? Or are we doing it later?
Yeah, I don't think it really comes up naturally later. We may as well just talk about it now. So do you want me to start my general take on Harper? Because I know he's supposed to be the god. I heard Carter, kind of just go off on his love for Harper. And I think that's willing it at this point. I appreciate Bedlam at the bank. Sorry you couldn't do it against the Astros. I appreciate Bedlam at the bank. Sorry Casty had to get us through the Braves series last year. Sorry we couldn't get through the Arizona series when we had them on the ropes 3-2 and came home to our house for 2 games. You want to be the best guy in baseball? You want to be the guy? You're not gonna present yourself in a way that the team follows, because that's what Bryce does. Bryce sets the tone. So when Bryce starts getting frustrated and Bryce starts over swinging, everybody else follows suit. That's why all these games have been won by the no-names on the team, because they're not drinking the Kool-Aid yet. They're actually playing baseball, not Bryce ball. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, the poison, the creeps that for a few weeks ago. Yeah, so here's the thing. I'm not going to be as hard on the guy. Like, I personally feel the 22 World Series, the 23 NLCS, he stopped getting pitches. And why would he ever see a pitch? You know
what? That's super fair. You're right. You're absolutely right. I was very unjustly harsh because he didn't have anything to hit after the break. Like,
to be honest with you, the Diamondbacks and the Astros stopped pitching to him way later than I thought they actually should have. Like, that was weird. They were getting squeezed on game 3 of the World Series. Yes,
that was the one. Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, then 4 and 5, they stopped pitching to him. But it took that squeezing of game 3, which I thought was weird, and they stopped pitching to him around game 5 of the NLCS, which again I thought was really kind of 5 games too late. But so in clutch times, they weren't pitching to him, where the Dodgers still or the Padres still were. Also, like this is, I might get absolutely lampooned for this take. But when you texted me about the hustle aspect of it in that game 1 against Tampa, I had 2 takes. One of them was I didn't think he was getting to second anyways, at least standing. I know that everyone else has been like, he's getting there, but that ball bounces off the wall.
It pretty much goes right to the center fielder then.
Goes right to the center fielder, and he rockets it to second. They were in a good spot. Like, I think it's one of those things, even with the hustle, he makes the turn and retreats back to first. That's me. I'm the only one who said that. I could be completely wrong, but he's definitely not getting there standing. It would have been close anyways. The issue that I have is there is a complete power outage, right? This dude hasn't hit a homer in a month.
And he's not getting it.
Right.
It's not due right now. He does not have the power for whatever reason right now.
He's got the wrist things, the elbow things, whatever it is. But my issue is, dude, you have a serious lack of power at the moment. You're dealing with the wrist thing. You're dealing with the elbow thing. What makes you think that liner was going out?
That's true too. That's true too. Especially
that was my
at
issue
that
with
point
it
in the game. But that's the thing. Bryce is also that dude that once he does hit that next home run, he's gonna admire it. Every time he goes through these slumps and he then hits that shot and he's like starts to have his big dick day, he admires those home runs. So that's what I think he was doing, and he got caught.
Yeah, well, that's my question. Why are you admiring that liner? Like, come on, man. Like, don't be those casual fans that pop up and yell and like, when you see an obvious pop up to shallow center. Like,
it makes me worried that he needs that homer. Like, I don't want him to need that homer. I want him to get that homer. Does that make sense?
I hear ya. And here's the thing. He's watched that for some odd reason. But, like, he's not, like, swinging through stuff or overpowering swings. Like, he knows he doesn't have the power right now, and he's actually kind of spraying the ball a little bit.
All right, I think we executed that pretty well there, Dano.
Yeah, that's so. Just for the listeners, know we're playing around with something that we may call the Bozo Radio Show.
Yes, where we take a ridiculous topic, a ridiculous segment, and we just play that out as if 2 idiots are talking at the bar. You can tell us which one is the idiot.
Podcast. It's a podcast.
Way to bring that back. Nostalgia.
Yeah, right.
Love that. All right, folks. In the next game, we have Tampa Bay 4, Philadelphia 9. Kyle Schwarber, your leadoff god, ladies and gents. Schwarber broke the leadoff home run record in a regular season, which is just an amazing and obscene statistic that I will forever love. Sadly, when he doesn't go yard, he sometimes ends up on base. And since he is such a threat to run, the pitcher tried to pick him off, and he hyperextended his elbow. Oh, yeah, and JT is still hurt. And, Charlie Sheen is a wee bit banged up. Edmundo Sosa is on the IL, and Austin Hayes has a friggin' kidney infection. Plus, Alec Boehm says he feels like a hammer is hitting his wrist every time he swings. So, not great for the infirmary. We got the win, though. I'll take it. Danny, I wish that the folks at home could see the obscene wit of me putting infirmary with the PH capitalized. Come on.
I was going to bring that up. Like, no one's reading this but me.
Did it for us.
I was like, oh, cool. He's making a visual joke on a audio podcast, which, by the way, is like, I hate it. You know that stupid meme that goes around the internet that says... Yeah, you know what one I'm talking about.
Because I know how many memes are going to be out there of me with the bald head.
The one that the one that's like that whatever, like I whispered in the devil's ear, you're the fight, and the devil whispered back, you are. Well, here's the thing, or whatever that dumb quote.
Yeah, I feel you.
That doesn't work. Correcting someone's spelling or whatever it's called, grammar, that doesn't work because they sound the same. So that meme is awful, and I hate it. And no one ever calls anyone out on that, and I'm doing it right now.
Woo! Danny has not been able to tell us what has him amped up for a few weeks, so he's just spraying, baby.
Well, it drives me crazy, but that's what you did on the agenda, and I loved it, and it's great. And for everyone who's not seeing this, which is everyone but me and Alex, he's just so witty, Alex.
Stop.
Full of wit, this guy, and humor and wit. That's why we're all listening to this. For Alex's
I know you're saying this in jest, but you have no idea how much energy that's going to give me for the rest of the night. I know you're placating me, but thank you for doing it. That's wonderful.
I couldn't mean it anymore.
I don't know where the joke ends anymore. Okay, so here is the last game of the Tampa Bay Phillies series. I'm letting it be. All right. Philadelphia 3, Tampa Bay 2. We got the sweep. Wheels gets his 15 win after coughing up the lead in the 5th, only for birthday boy Weston Wilson being this evening's savior with his go-ahead slap bunt single, sending Casty home. I was at a work event, so I sadly missed most of this, but I was able to listen to Not Fransky and LA complain about the one-pitch outs and how the Phils' over-aggressive approach at the plate is giving their ace pitcher not enough of a break before he has to go throw again. And I got to tell you, when they're right, they're right. Damn, that was a run-on sentence. Before the Weston inning, the Phillies had gone through 10 batters while only seeing 27 pitches. That's 2.7 pitches per batter. Be patient and stop wasting a guy like Wheeler's efforts. Thank God Tampa took out their starting pitcher, or else we may have had the biggest time of possession gap in Major League history. And I don't know if time of possession is a metric for baseball, but I'm going to champion that it should be.
I love it. Now you're doing some crux stuff right now. So Weston Wilson is an interesting case, right? He'll go from a 12 pitch at bat to a 1 out or a 1 pitch out in the matter of 3 innings.
Classic
Crazy.
Philly.
Yeah, but there was Garcia. He had a 9 pitch out. Weston drew a decent walk in that game. Like, there were some patient at bats.
There were, but
despite the non-patient at bats, a win is a win is a win, which is sweet.
They're still our boys. Yeah, man. We got back to those sweeping ways. Danny, let's get paid.
That's what I say. That's my line.
Oh, all right, Danny, go ahead.
But they're back to their sweeping ways. Alex, let's get paid.
There, Chasers. The Quit Chasin' podcast is a proud partner of the Old City Sports Network. Hop over to their website and order some Quit Chasin' merchandise. And while you're there, check out some of their shows after you finish with us. 2nd and 15, the Philadelphia Eagles podcast. Flyers Alley, or The Living Room Show. Support those that support us. Speaking of which, the baseball season is winding down. You'll want to experience the game in person before time runs out. With our sponsor, SeatGeek, you can get $20 off on your first order when you use the promo code Old City Sports Network. Don't forget the E at the end of Old. Before you head to a game, you want to make sure you're groomed to perfection. Make sure to check out Warlord Beard Essentials. And while you're there, use promo code OLDSPORTS in all caps and get 15% off and then free shipping on all orders over $65. Lastly, Chasers, I highly recommend you check out Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel. Head to the Righteous Felon Jerky Cartel site and use code OCSN, all lowercase, and get 15% off of your order, plus free shipping on orders over $50. It's so simple, a Mets fan could almost do it.
Welcome back, dude. I know. I thought I was going to have to do it.
Don't you worry. I have a well-trained bladder, my friend.
Nice. That's cool. Everyone wanted to know that.
You're welcome, Chase Nation. We hold nothing back for our dearest fans. Folks, welcome back to the Quit Chasing podcast. Danny, did you know it was going to happen? When we said we were going to kill the bit, did you know it was going to come back around?
I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about media stables?
That's right, sir. Folks, we are bringing back the media stables. Oh, that is a double doors. That's nice. That's a good background right there. How long have you been holding on to that?
I just got it today, and it doesn't quite fit, but that's okay. We'll get a better one for next time. But it's back, baby.
Media stables, folks, coming back into your ears. We are over ourselves, and we like to talk a little bit about the things that we consume. We're ready to consume again. Since we are through the swoon of the year, we are able to consume Phillies talk once again. So I guess I'll start off, Dano.
Yeah, let's do it.
That is, I don't know what it is, but fellow podcast High Hopes has been delightful again. All right. Jack Fritz is being critical of Harper. I'm even enjoying Jack's final outs again. I don't know if any of our listeners felt this way, but the overly rosy outlooks and the telling us it's early and to calm down stuff for the last 2 years kind of wore a little bit thin. But thankfully, it seems this team finally stomped that pesky, annoying, unbridled optimism out of us so we can go back to being our schadenfreude loving ourselves. Seriously though, kudos to Fritzy. And for those of you who indulge, God, it's great to have Jon Stewart back on our TVs, isn't it?
Absolutely. I watched that thing, by the way.
Wasn't it a great 12 minutes of your life?
It was. It was
delightful. Beautiful. It's everything we've been missing for I don't know how many years, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I think it's everything we also try to do. That's like I was watching it through the vein of our show, and I was like, wow, that's what we try to do. Here's the thing. He's funnier and smarter and better.
He's so much smarter and funnier and faster and better and just like everything. Do we do a poor man's Jon Stewart?
I think that's being generous.
Oh, damn. We do a massively destitute Jon Stewart. That is still pretty good.
Sure. Yeah, I'm into it.
What do you have for our media stables, Danny?
Listen, dude, I don't know what it is, but I'm with you. I have also been thoroughly enjoying that show again. I don't know what the change is. I don't know if they made some sort of change or what our attitudes. I don't know what it is. But yeah, High Hopes has been an absolutely phenomenal listen again lately. And yeah, couldn't recommend it more. I have John Boy Media.
John Boy. Friend of the show. He just doesn't know it.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I think he would be. Why not, right?
Right.
So he does an absolutely phenomenal video. Absolute phenomenal, whatever. Breakdown of the Casty hit by pitch.
You know, we actually haven't talked about this. Let's paint the picture and paint the situation for the fans. Folks, you remember when we were talking about that Tampa Bay game that we won 9-4? Well, there were actually some extra fireworks going on during that.
Yeah, some extracurriculars, if you will.
Some extracurriculars. After the Phillies took a guy that had an ERA of 0.75, which, Mom, that's really, really good. That's like a TOB score of 99.7, okay? Anyways, they blew
Tournament
up
of bands?
You know it.
Tournament of bands, me?
I sure did. I TOB'd the hell out of it. Yes, nice. Sir. Yes, sir. Someone's going to Allentown Central Catholic to compete. Anyways, I have no idea where the hell I was, but
so we were in TOB my first 2 years, and then we moved over to Cavalcade.
Cavalcade, yeah, that we won several championships in Cavalcade. Did you guys win any?
We won my senior year. We won the Cavalcade Championship. Yeah.
All right. Good for you.
Did they go? So what were you in? TOB or Cavalcade?
No, man, Cavalcade. But for indoor percussion, I believe we were TIA instead of KIDA. Yeah. Okay. No one at home has any idea what the fuck we're talking about right now.
Those who know.
You know what, though? My mom knows, and she's nodding her head like, yeah, that's right. Anyways.
It was Mahar that switched us over. He was like the president or vice president in Cavalcade at the time.
How about that?
I mean, I'm not saying there's nepotism. We won because they were great shows and we were phenomenal performers.
We were damn good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Phillies were playing the game. Eyes of pride. So the Phillies, that was for you, Pupo, my drum major. Forever. So the Phillies won 9-4, but Casty got plunked after we put up like 5 runs on their starting pitcher. And it incited what some folks would say is a bench clearing brawl. I would say it is a bench clearing experience.
Listen, we'll get to all of that. Now that the jar is open, we're going to be talking about this in many facets from now until the end of the show. So yes, I agree with you.
No, I set it up. You tell me about. So tell us how we got that ERA explosion out of their guy.
Well, all right. So, I mean, with the whole rundown, I can't give you the rundown because there was a ton. There was a ton of stuff. Who comes up first? Stock comes up first, knocks the ball down the line, bounces off the umpire, out
Right
number
in the
one.
glove.
That's how the whole inning started.
Wow, I didn't realize that was the same inning as all the chaos.
That was the same inning. Yeah,
Holy
man. That's
shit.
how the inning
That's
started.
insane. That's crazy.
So then, who is it?
Buddy Kennedy?
Buddy lays down the double.
Fucking Buddy.
Oh, dude, I don't know. We might have this order all wrong.
Who knows? Who cares?
Long story short, they manufactured a couple runs. Trey knocks in a 2-run homer. Bryce follows up with another double down the line, the left field line this time. Fielder just had a bad play on it. It could have been an out. I don't know. Like, he was coming in on it. Either way, homeboy is frustrated. Plunks Casty.
Right in the hip meet with 96 miles an hour.
His sub 1 just shoots up after giving up 5 runs.
It literally doubled.
He's visually frustrated. John Boy on John Boy Media does a phenomenal breakdown. He gives you the whole order that we can't quite remember of who gets on base when and how they come in. But he notices that the Phillies are sitting change up this whole time. At one point, pronounce the guy's name for me.
Cal Stevenson?
No, the pitcher.
Oh, gosh. Uceta?
Yes, thank you. It's Uceta.
Uceta?
He even at one point after the Trey dinger says something in says something in Spanish along the lines of like, these motherfuckers, like, what is going on? He's so confused. They're sitting change up. And John Boy does a breakdown where he lines up all the pitches at bat with the pitcher. Have you seen this?
Dude, so I knew he was working on it. I've been so unbelievably busy at work and with life. I haven't had a chance. So I was so happy when you put this on the agenda because I'm dying to find out what's going on here. I know nothing, but I'm dying to find out.
So the at bat, I forget what at bat this is, but he goes change up, sinker, cutter, sinker. And what it all is, or even the next at bat after that is like change up, sinker, change up. And he holds his cutter below his belt.
So in other words, he has the ball in the glove below his belt.
Sorry. Yes.
Before he does his wind up for his changeup. So that's where he's starting from his set position.
From below, right. And then his sinkers, his fastballs are coming from his like second
waist
button.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he's
like
higher
mid-stomach, like the belly button area, and he's flaring his glove up.
Oh shit. So it's not just the prep, it's also the release point is different on his changeup compared to every other pitch he throws.
Yeah. So he's setting up below the belt on his changeup, and his fastballs and sinkers are up higher with his glove flared up.
So all you have to do is look for that, and you have the slowest pitch coming.
So they were hunting. Yep. So they were hunting change up, and that is exactly what he breaks down and shows you. He draws a line. He overlays all the pitches. He puts, the Uceta in his, as he's coming set, overlays them all together, and you just see it all. And they were sitting change up and hunting change up, and that he was tipping. Yeah.
That's so cool. That is so
awesome.
I would love to know, and they'll never tell it. These are state secrets when they do find these things out and figure these things out. So we'll never figure out who cracked the code and who figured it out and how it came to be. But like, I would love to know who picked that up and essentially got him that game.
Yeah. Yeah. They got on him. Yeah. It was awesome. Watch that video. It's about 12 minutes. It's a phenomenal breakdown. Most of his breakdowns are, but that one, it's our team, and he does a great job at it.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Well,
that's lamped up.
You know what, Danny? Honestly, like I'm a little amped up about stuff. I'm not amped up about much, but there are certain things that do irritate and annoy me. And a lot of that for me revolves around what I like to call like fragile knuckle dragging men. So
please go on.
Okay. So like I don't love guns. I don't have any special affinity for cars. Like I'm happy for you that you enjoyed to go hunting at 5 o'clock in the morning. I like to still be in bed, warm. To
Semper
each their
Fi.
own. Semper fudge. Yes. To each their own. I'm not here to yuck anyone else's yum, but I'm so tired of the toxic masculine man telling me that I am not enough of a man because I do not enjoy these pleasantries. And the reason it's got me amped up is because we've just re-entered football season, where a lot of this crap comes out of the woodwork, where people are a jerk to Taylor Swift just because she's dating a football player, where people are going to bring down an individual because they have a social justice issue, where the fact that Tyreek Hill gets stopped by the police on his way into the stadium becomes this national moment, which it should. But the fact that we now have all of these just hoagie mouth breathers just coming out of the woodwork. Why?
Just nothing.
Did you need to break me out of my trance?
No. I was taking offense to the hoagie mouth. That's all.
You know, I said hoagie and then switched it to mouth breather, and then it just became hoagie mouth breather, which is the worst Wheel of Fortune before and after I've ever heard. Okay, hoagie mouth breather. So I went hoagie mouth, and I was like, well, no, this is much more than just that. And I was like, this is more of a mouth breather thing.
Use a bunch of hoagie mouth breathers.
Just a bunch of hoagie mouth. Anyways, I'm not here to do a Philly accent. I've never lived in Philly, but just I don't know, man. Like, let's stop yucking people's yum. Let people live their best life. I don't care. I'm not going to give a crap about guns or any of that stuff, and that doesn't make me any less of a dude. So that's got me amped up. But again, I'm not even that amped up. It's just something that was like ticking me off this past week.
Yeah, I hear you. It gets to me sometimes too. In that vein of that, I have the unique experience of growing up in Dauphin, Pennsylvania, and now
something.
Right, exactly, and now living in Kensington, Philadelphia. Right, so
very different demographics. Just so everyone knows, when you think of Dauphin, think of Deliverance, but the Hallmark Channel version. And then when you think of Kensington, think of The Wire, but like the Hallmark version.
Phenomenal. You may have heard of it from the news. But so I do have that unique ability. So like the one thing that like all drives me absolutely insane from like the brand of person that you were kind of moderately amped up about is like the double speak. Sometimes it's the cities are unbelievably terrible. You can't park there without getting murdered and carjacked the second you park, and all the men from cities are prissy little dickless wonders. Like, which one is it, my man?
That's a
like,
great point. That's you know what? That's fascinating because as I was writing out my little synopsis of my amped up, I was struck with my own cognitive dissonant moment in that. So in my daughter's school district, there was some really stupid hoax on Snapchat where someone was like, pew, pew. And apparently that's some sort of a gun threat. I don't know. Bunch of kids stayed home and everything. It is what it is. And like, I want to preach safety.
Well, if they're not going to have snow days anymore.
I mean, you know, and like, I'm cool with the mental health day. I don't give a shit. I'm fine with that. You get the days, like earn them. You know, you earn them, you might as well burn them. But anyways, I guess kids don't, but they should for school. You should get like 3 paid days off a year, whatever it's called. But anyways, I digress. But like, okay, I agree if it's cool to be cautious, but like, let's not create a bunch of fear bots. Let's create a bunch of prepared bots, but let's not just tell kids like, oh, there might be an active shooter at your school today. That's why you're staying home. Let's be like, hey, we're doing this stuff for precaution. You're safe to go back tomorrow. We're just being overly cautious to be sure everything's okay. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that, but like, I don't want to create a bunch of kids that are afraid to go outside, but I also want to keep kids safe. Cognitive dissonance. It's fun, folks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Listen, that stuff is it's heavy stuff. So I hear you. I can't speak on any of it other than right. You want them to get scrapes and bruises, but you also want to keep them safe. And,
absolutely.
Hats off to all the parents out there that know how to navigate all that.
Amen, because it's always hard. Danny, take us the hell out of the segment. Take us to what's got you amped up.
I am amped up, and believe it or not, the Phillies, baby, the Phillies. So there's a couple things, man. Nicky Two Buttons, right?
Nicky Two Buttons,
All
our
the
Lord and
doubters.
Savior, is back. He is back.
Absolutely. Out of all the people, who would have? He's your captain now. Who would have thought, right? And and there's a couple other things that I loved about it. Like, I like the brand of baseball the Phils are playing right now. I like that Nick gets plunked. The team stands up for him. He calls it BS. You got Harper running from second base, calling BS, saying, "Hey, we don't do that. We don't play like that." They don't play like that. Nicky responds with a 2-run dinger, his first at bat the next game, and that gives me one cool. They don't play like that. That's the perfect way to respond. Also, it showed me, it was a little glimpse of the window of you did exactly what you had to do when you had to do it, and I have faith and hope on that. Also, there's a chill in the air. It's late summer, man. It's one of my favorite times of year. I got out of my parking garage today, made a right onto Market Street, Philadelphia, got a shot of City Hall right down there. And I saw it. This was early in the morning. And on the other side of City Hall is where you party down Broad Street. And I smelt the cool air. I felt the cool air. I saw City Hall, and I had a premonition. I was like, you know what? This is going to be a good October. And that's the first time I've ever felt that way this season. And I don't know what it is. I think it's Nicky Two Buttons responding the way he should have when he should have. And the chill in the air, and I'm amped up for it.
You know what, Danny? I think we were talking earlier this week, and I'm actually going to partially credit some of that good vibe feeling that you're feeling to Gavin and Carter, because you remembered how much fun optimism can be. For a couple of minutes while you were listening to the show, you remember what youthful optimism felt like and just how much hope and promise you had before nihilism and schadenfreude came and just buried you.
Yeah, I did. That was I will give them the credit for that. That was it was awesome. Vance and YouTuber, or Carter and YouTuber, were great.
They were fantastic. So
they were.
His name wasn't YouTuber; it was Your Father.
Oh, really? All right.
It said Your Father, and honestly, like that's what it said.
That's
and I was like,
better.
You know what? That's pretty witty. Like
better.
that's why I didn't tell him to change it, because I'm like, dude, I dig that shit. Like, that'll work. Like, Your Father, that's some grade A BS. So that tells me you didn't watch the reel, because if you did, you would have seen that. Or
no, I didn't watch the reel at all.
That's rude. Well, you know what? 145 other people did, so it's fine. Yeah, that's right. 100 folks. Anyways, whoa.
I don't want to watch usurpers.
So you're Team Black, eh? I'm Team Green. It is what it is. Danny,
right.
Speaking of usurpers and
small
fights,
screens, I'm dyslexic. I saw YouTuber, which I liked even better, but Your Father is awesome.
Your Father's pretty good.
Yeah, dude. I wouldn't have made fun of that.
That's pretty solid. All right, Danny. That somehow, clunky transition. Don't care. Love it or hate it. Beanball. Nope, too soon. Beanball / benches clearing brawls. Love it or hate it.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's some fun stuff that can be done with it. Like John Boy's breakdown of any bench clearing brawl is always fun, because he'll go, player by player and show just like how ludicrous these things really are, right? So other than the pure entertainment value of like seeing how ludicrous it is, it's so dumb. Like, if two guys are going to get into it, like, do it hockey style, man. Like, let them get into it. There is no reason that these poor dudes in the bullpen need to become running 150 yards just to stand there and be like, "Yo, so how were those dinner plans last night?" You know what I mean? Like, absolutely no need for it.
All right, so I love that you mentioned the bullpen, because one of my friends my Phillies friend, that he's one of our guys, he was at that game. So he got to see the Schwarber record-breaking home run. He got to see the brawl that never was. Like he said, and Fritz mentioned this on the after the out or final out or Phillies After Dark, whatever it's called. And he said that like
Phillies After Dark.
Philly Cabs confessions. I don't know. And he said that like the energy inside that stadium
Telephone rates
was
may
unlike
apply.
something he's ever seen before. And like this guy I'm talking about is a season ticket holder, has been to multiple most postseason games from the 90s on. Like this is not someone that has been to 4 games in his life. This is someone that's been to a bunch. And he said that game was a top 5 game experience for him. And I do think because you this year, I believe, did not get to go to a Brawl game. Am I correct? You were supposed to go, but there was a work thing that got in the way and you had to miss it.
Are you lonely and have a rock hard boner? Call Phillies After Dark.
Sounds like we're going to have a cold open next week, friends.
Yes, I would. Yes, that was the game that I got held hostage at work for. And my
Steve
buddies made it on the TV. Yes, and they made it on the TV.
Yes.
That would have been me sitting there and
love it.
eating peanuts, being like, "What? Huh?"
That would have been you. So, all right. So here's my thing with like the brawls and everything, and I agree with you.
After Dark.
I agree with you emphatically. You should be allowed in every single major sport to just have a fight once a game. Yeah, there'll be penalties. Those dudes will be kicked out, but like, just let it happen. Let it happen. And like, I don't know, maybe the suspensions are a reason to deter it so it doesn't happen all the time, but like, why not? Because all this hemming and hawing and everyone just going for some light cardio work, jogging from the bullpen out, like no one's doing anything. Everything's going to be fine. And the days of actual slugs happening, I think those are long over. Everyone's way too smart and sober to risk like getting their moneymakers injured that they're not actually going to go for it.
Strom had to take a break from his hot girl summer and put down his latte to run out there in his shorts and tank top. You know what I mean? Like, that's ridiculous.
If you've got it, Danny, flaunt it. Okay.
No,
if you've got the hair, throw that shit up in a wonderful EOS end of summer bun. If you got the guns, cut off the sleeves. Let those guns breathe. You don't want them rusting, getting all stopped up in the case. Let them go. I have no problem with what Matt Strom wore into the fracas.
The fact that he had to go out there. He didn't have to.
He chose to defend his brother.
He had to put Hot Girl Summer on pause and run out there. And that latte, the ice melted. It was watered down by the time he got back for nothing.
Danny, that's the problem with people's like you. You think Hot Girl Summer has to pause for a fracas. No, sir. You bring the Hot Girl Summer into the fracas. I think we did it. We did it, Danny.
Yeah.
Welcome back, bud.
Hey,
this was great.
It was fun.
Under an hour.
Yeah, we did it. Hey, man, it was great to be back again. To Gavin and Carter, well done. Thank you a lot. I appreciate it. You guys did great. Hey, we'll do better next week. I promise. Everybody knows an ant can't move a rubber tree plant.